Hang on. Traffic accidents?
Yeah.
Right, so.
Oh, that'll be
drivers
really
lose
cool.
Control and crash their vehicles into traffic and buildings.
Oh no, not
Yikes.
buildings. Alright, so today we are going to be looking at the new features in Cities Skylines 2. First, let's start off with the first video clip we have.
The roads crisscrossing
Roads,
your
alright.
city are more than a means of transport. By connecting citizens to their work, families, and communities, they are the
Whoa,
veins
the
and
tramway.
arteries of your city's beating heart.
Whoa.
Every pathway you carve out shapes the routine every day and opens the door to the extraordinary events that define their lives. City building starts with roads. Roads allow people, goods, and services to move through your city, of course. And in City Skylines 2, all roads except for highways automatically carries water, electricity, and sewage lines.
That's useful.
It's a shortcut that lets you focus on what you love about city building sooner. You'll construct and refine your road network using road tools. They're easy to learn and flexible, inviting you to follow your creative impulses. Returning players will welcome upgrades to the road tools that introduce several of the most wished-for features. Other features are totally new. Use the road tools to create seamless city blocks in just 3
Whoa.
clicks. In no time, you'll lay long, beautiful stretches of road to link lively residential and industrial districts to your buzzing city center. Just like that, you'll thread traffic along wide, curving streets and elegant, elevated highways. You'll even add bridges and tunnels in only a few clicks.
That's amazing, that
Intersections have
bridge.
been overhauled in
Whoa.
City Skylines 2. Placement rules are less restrictive, and you can use pre-made intersections on new and existing roads. You can
Whoa.
also add roundabouts.
Oh, that's
Yep,
useful.
They're here. From gentle suburban roundabouts to roaring multi-lane roundabouts,
Whoa.
it's never been easier to engineer uninterrupted streams of traffic. That's because roads will be configured automatically, so vehicles can enter and exit the roundabout safely. Simply
Whoa.
drop your preferred roundabout over an existing intersection and ta-da!
That's useful.
A whole new way to move people, goods, and services through your city. Decide the direction of traffic and how it flows by placing traffic lights, crosswalks, and directional no-turn
So you don't need to have
traffic signs
crosswalk
with
everything,
stop
that's good.
signs. Erect sound barriers
Whoa.
and construct parking lots.
Well, that's useful,
another
parking
new
lots.
feature in City Skyline 2. And for returning players, it means Christmas has come early. You can even add decorative touches if you want to. They don't just make your city pretty, they can be useful too. So those trees you use to line sidewalks, add charm and reduce noise pollution. Of course, building a city is a process of exploration and experimentation. You'll try stuff out. Some of it you'll like, and some you won't. Want to change an existing road? Use the new Replace tool. It's like the old Upgrade tool, but with more freedom to refine your
Whoa,
road
you
network.
could, that's yeah,
Change your
those
mind
slip
about a road?
roads.
Bulldoze tool to the
Whoa.
rescue. Click, 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 and that road is a thing of the past. Road building is more intuitive
trains,
and
they
nuanced
look cool.
in City Skylines 2, and every pathway
That is
has
a really good
far-reaching
bridge.
impact. Build your city's roads as a testament to your ambition and a promise to citizens that anything is possible.
Whoa. Alright, so first thoughts on the first clip we've seen. Really useful, these road tools that they've introducing. Like, I'm gonna love this. I mean, I would just love it early. I've already pre-ordered it and I've got the Ultimate Edition. But like, oh, I'd love it early. That would be really good. Okay.
People are the lifeblood of your
Traffic
city.
AI,
As
this
they move
really
through
needs
it,
to be
they
good.
set the city's pulse, not in the cold rhythms of code, but with the variability and pace of a real city. So you should expect the same order and chaos that emerges when countless individual decisions are made all at once. It's a level of vibrant realism you've never seen before, and it's powered by the deep simulation of traffic AI. How people move from A to B in your city is called pathfinding. Previously, pathfinding meant choosing the shortest route by distance, but ignoring factors like travel time and traffic congestion was less than ideal. Pathfinding has changed.
That's useful.
In City Skylines II, 4 main factors influence how people move through your city. These factors are called pathfinding costs. People weigh up these costs to decide where to go and how to get there. The path with the lowest cost is the path they choose.
That is useful.
But how people weigh up these costs is very different. To help you understand, let's walk through the 4 pathfinding costs. Time is usually the most important pathfinding cost. Everyone will pick
Those
the
traffic lights
quickest
are
route to their
intense.
destination if they can. Comfort is another pathfinding cost. Who doesn't want a smooth journey? Wouldn't you avoid tricky intersections if you could? The availability, convenience, and cost of parking will now impact where people choose to go and how to get there. Easy parking is actually the deciding factor for some people when choosing where to socialize and spend their money. That's another pathfinding cost: money. Fuel, parking, and public transport tickets can seriously add up. So it's a factor in
I
where
wanna
people
build
choose to go and
metros.
how they get there. The final factor influencing pathfinding is behavior, or how likely people are to engage in risky maneuvers on the road. U-turns, lane hopping, and speeding.
What the heck did he do
reduce
that
travel
for?
times, lower fuel consumption, and avoid some of the inconvenient aspects of travel. To keep pathfinding costs low, people will reroute if something happens on their journey. For example, if they get caught behind a traffic accident that takes too long to clear, they'll find another way
That
to
is
get where they're
sick.
going. Hang on. Traffic accidents?
Yeah.
Right, so
Oh, that'll be
drivers
really
lose control
cool.
and crash their vehicles into traffic and buildings.
Oh no, not
Yikes.
buildings.
You see, things like wet roads, extreme weather events, and the time of day can increase the risk of a collision.
So I need to maintain my
But
roads.
it's actually poor road conditions that should keep you awake at night. Want to reduce the risk of serious mishaps? Send your road maintenance crew
Whoa.
out ASAP. Traffic AI has improved pathfinding so much that you can now grow a larger population. But remember, a big population brings opportunities and challenges. 2 info views can help you plan and react when life takes a left turn. Traffic Info View takes the guesswork out of traffic management. It delivers a real-time overview of how much traffic is on your road network and traffic, so you can resolve problems quickly. Deep simulation transforms the movement of people, goods, and services through your city into the pulsing reality of a living, breathing city. But how people choose their
Buses.
path? That is always a response to the world around them. A world of your creation.
Alright, now I'm just really excited to have better traffic AI. Let's go to the next clip.
Transport networks set
Oh.
the rhythm of life in your city.
Hey, it's my
As they
metros.
move people and cargo, they can create harmony and discord. This finely tuned orchestra of ships, vehicles, planes, and trains is yours to conduct.
That's a little plane.
To create a thriving metropolis, maintain a steady beat to keep your city in motion. You build a city from scratch in City Skylines II. No public transport, no tracks, no runways. Creating these and other transportation networks is a crucial first step. After
Yeah.
that, improving and integrating them paves the way for expansion. When you establish your city, citizens can take the bus or a taxi to get where they're going. These are the first transport options you'll unlock. They're reliable, cheap, and easy to route here, there, and everywhere. Traffic conditions are their Achilles heel. It's no big deal in a new metropolis, but it is for a growing city. That's when you'll level up your public transport. Think trains, trams, and subways.
Oh, will trams
Each
be in the
one
base
has
game?
pros and
That's
cons.
sick.
They're all expensive to build and complicated, requiring depots, tracks, and stops where passengers can buy tickets and get on and off. That
not
means
bad.
they can't offer the far-reaching service of a bus line or the door-to-door service of a taxi. On the other hand, they're more efficient, not least because they carry more people and cargo and reduce road congestion. Let's start with subways.
Whoa.
They're fast, high capacity, and they take up very little room when they're underground. If they operate above ground, you can run them on elevated tracks so they don't get tangled up with road traffic. Trams. They're more flexible than trains, so you can more easily add lines to service new and expanded neighborhoods. Build tram tracks on existing roads, or run them on dedicated tracks if that's the best way to keep the hustle and bustle dialed up. Trains carry loads of people too, and not just suburbanites. They can bring visitors from outside your city in large numbers. Trains play another critical role as cargo transport. Build a cargo train terminal, and you build a hub where businesses can receive, ship, and store incoming and outgoing goods. Water transportation is another option for passenger travel and moving cargo. It's another high-capacity network, though water transport's real potential lies in imports and exports. You see, cargo ships might be slower than trains, but these bad boys can carry 1,000 tons of stuff to and from your
Gosh,
city.
that's a lot.
Yeah, that's right. You can trade with other cities. So you'll need somewhere to house all the goods and resources coming and going. Easy. Like cargo train terminals, cargo harbors double as cargo storage facilities. Like all of the other networks, air
Planes.
transportation has drawbacks. Planes carry fewer passengers and less cargo than ships and trains. Airports are also astronomically expensive and have the footprint of a small town. However, air transport has a pretty irresistible advantage: speed. Plus, planes won't add to road congestion. They don't follow a rigid track, and they make outside connections incredibly easy. The transport mix in your city will become complex and intricate.
I'm
Use the
really
transportation
excited.
overview to review passenger and cargo transportation networks separately. Filter again by transport type to see high-level details about individual lines and toggle them on or off. Use the transportation info view to understand the impact of your networks. Plan and manage transportation networks carefully to find the right tempo for the movement of people and cargo.
Okay.
Conduct it perfectly, and every citizen, trader, and tourist will march your city toward greatness.
I'm finding that really useful. I mean, it would be like really useful to have a good metro system. I've been looking at my old cities recently because I'm too excited and there's just no point making a new city. And I've realised that with my metro system, for example, let's just say it's not efficient because it only serves that district and not the city. Same for my trams. I mean, the trams could be for a certain area, not just for one district. But you never know. When City Skylines II comes out, I could make a whole better transport system. So this is signature
Every
buildings.
decision you make weaves a thread into the fabric of your city. But don't for a second imagine a smooth, seamless surface. Cities don't work like that. Instead, it's an urban patchwork marked by the realities of life and living.
That
You'll
skyline
create and
looks
stitch
cool.
it together with zoning. Zoning lets you decide where people live and work. You create these residential, commercial, and industrial zones with zoning tools. They work in a couple of different ways.
Wait,
and
how
drag over cells on
many
the
are
map
they?
to zone large rectangular areas. Zone all adjacent cells with one click. Or get granular, zoning a neighborhood cell by cell.
That's
When
just
you
to be
establish a
annoying.
city, you choose a map. The map
Whoa, they look cool.
dictates if your city's buildings will have a North American or European architectural style. You can now use zoning tools to mix it up. Go on, sprinkle a little North American
Whoa,
flair
look at
into
the
your
look
European
at the
city,
cranes.
or vice versa. Okay, you know how zoning tools work, but what can you zone? Well, let's start with residential
Whoa.
zones. The places and spaces where citizens relax with friends, raise families, and rest their heads night after night. There are now 6 residential
What?
zone types. 2 will be familiar: low-density housing,
Finish
detached
flag.
houses for single
Why is that
families,
there?
and high-density housing, tall towers.
Whoa! Imagine living at the top of that.
New zoning types include medium-density row housing.
Like, it's
and
like those
medium-density
Denmark
apartment
houses.
buildings. There's low-rent housing now, too. Huge apartment buildings with tiny apartments. Finally, there's mixed housing.
Oh,
Here,
mixed.
residents live in apartments above ground floor shops.
Whoa, that
Mixed
is
housing
cool.
adds
That
next
is
level
useful.
realism because homes and shops rub elbows like most real-world city centers.
Yeah, that would be good for like
Ready to talk
just
business?
around the city
You'll create
centre
dedicated
and like
commercial
just
zones
out the
where companies
offices
sell
or like the
locally
really big
produced and
built up
imported
bit.
goods people need and want.
And then it would be, but not
Your
for like the
commercial zones are
proper
also where
suburbs.
citizens and tourists eat out, catch the latest blockbuster, and dance until dawn. You'll establish industrial
is that a
zones
quarry?
with factories, workshops, and warehouses where businesses can store
Whoa.
goods ready for distribution or export. You'll also develop office zones. Here you'll find small, low-density buildings with only a few businesses in operation. You'll also get the glittering, high-density towers that define your city's silhouette.
Yeah,
in the
that's what I
sky.
want in my city centre.
Growing your city and zoning go hand in hand. Here's an example. You zone residential areas that boost the population, and with it, the demand for jobs. You respond by creating an industrial zone with factories where people get to work. Now, these factories produce goods, but they won't stay in business long without somewhere to sell them. You solve that problem by expanding commercial zones. You see? Each zone helps create the momentum you need to realize the city of
Whoa,
your
it's a football
dreams.
pitch.
And it wouldn't be the city of your dreams without signature buildings. These are unique residential, commercial, industrial, and office buildings
Whoa.
that you unlock as your city expands. They're free to build, and you can plop them anywhere. Plop. It's City Skylines lingo. Go on, say it.
Bloop.
What's so special about signature buildings? Well, they function like any zoned building. A home for people, a warehouse for industry, an office for workers. But they can elevate the neighborhood.
Whoa, that looks so posh, that one.
Signature buildings can also bring citywide benefits.
Can
Zone
it?
and place your signature buildings carefully so each city district flourishes and plays its part in the success of the whole city. Life's rich tapestry has never been richer than in City Skylines II.
Now, I don't see much difference apart from the fact that you've got way more. Well, let's just say I can't see the difference apart from the fact that you've got way more options of like different residential heights or office heights or something. Like, it would be really, really good though having low density offices, because in City Skylines 1 you just have big skyscrapers, and like if you want them in the suburbs, then they're just a big skyscraper in the middle of nowhere pretty much.
Successful city building in City Skylines 2 is all about people.
It is.
Anticipating their needs and desires, ensuring they feel safe, and actually keeping them safe. Understanding what annoys and delights them, and doing what it takes to give them healthy, happy lives from beginning to end. How? City services. You'll build clinics and hospitals to deliver healthcare, plus the ambulance service people need in life or death situations. Oh, yeah, sometimes it will be a death situation. So you'll add death care services that transport people to the city's crematoriums and cemeteries. You'll set up schools for kids of all ages, plus colleges and universities. After all, education fosters social advancement. Life still might take a turn for the worse for some people. When it does, you'll want the safety net of a welfare office. One thing that improves everyone's well-being, no matter what's going on in life, is time outdoors. You'll create parks, plazas, attractions, and landmarks that make people living nearby happier and healthier. As in real life, safety first is a good mantra in City Skylines 2.
It is. Oh gosh,
So you
there's
want
a fire.
various fire and rescue services. Just adding a firehouse
Oh,
reduces
gosh.
the likelihood of a blaze in the neighborhood. Same with police stations. Build them and send patrols out onto the streets to cut crime. Communications is a new city service in City Skylines 2, helping you meet more essential needs.
Whoa, that map's
That
massive.
includes the internet. Naturally, the easier it is to connect to the web, the happier everyone will feel and the more profitable the city's businesses will be.
Whoa.
Of course, everyone relies on electricity, so you want to avoid long outages. They aren't just aggravating. Blackouts will prompt people to move out and force businesses to pause production, putting profits at risk. keep electricity lines humming with sustainable energy sources like wind, solar, geothermal, and hydropower. Go old school with fossil fuels like coal and gas. There's always the nuclear option too. This is the most realistic city built.
Ugh, what's in that water?
So you'll need to deal with a lot of stuff. We're talking sewage.
That's why.
Gross? Yes. Necessary? Also yes. With a wastewater treatment plant, you can purify sewage and circulate water into your city's freshwater network. Or you can pump sewage into open waters and out of the network. Don't forget to stay on top of garbage. Garbage processing centers, landfills, and an incineration plant will stop it piling up. But don't take shortcuts. Air and water pollution can sink land values, harm the health of residents, and tarnish the city's appeal to tourists. Ready to introduce a city service? Previously, you only had to construct a city service building. When that service needed to cover a larger area or support more people, you simply constructed the same building again. Not anymore. Almost all city services can now be upgraded to scale operations and expand functionality. While city services make your city livable, they come at a cost. Balancing these costs and the very real needs of everyone in your city is the name of the game. Subscribe to the City Skylines II YouTube channel for updates and more feature highlights.
I'm just really excited. Please, City Skylines, can I have it early? Oh gosh, that would actually be really cool. Anyway, next one.
To understand the basic needs of your citizens, you need only look in the mirror. Like you and me, there are a few important things they need to live healthy, happy lives. That includes electricity, water, and sanitation. With these systems in place, everyone in your city has a shot at living their best life. Let's take a look at electricity. When laying roads, you also install low-voltage underground cables that supply electricity to homes, offices, and shops. These cables plug into transformer stations. Transformer stations are also connected to the high-voltage power lines streaming from your city's power plants. They act as a junction where low-voltage cables and high-voltage lines link up. Together, they form the grid that pumps electricity right across your city. There's one drawback. Power lines and electric cables can only carry so much electricity. When demand increases, they can max out, creating a bottleneck. Keep the grid humming by evenly spreading electricity connections around your city. You can also build power lines to import electricity from neighboring cities. Imported energy will save your bacon if local power plants fail to produce enough electricity when demand increases. It will, too. Expect spikes when the thermostat drops and everyone dials up their heaters. Hot weather will cause spikes, too, as people flick on air conditioners, fans, and ice machines at the same time. Your power plants might produce more electricity than your city needs. When that happens, you can export it to your neighbors. While this can offset production costs, think it through. By storing excess electricity in emergency battery stations, you have nothing to worry about when demand rises. Emergency battery stations help your city get the most out of solar power plants. Battery stations power the city at night when the plant isn't producing electricity, and recharge when they operate during the day. Of course, solar is just one renewable energy source. You can build wind, water, and geothermal power plants too. Fossil fuels are another way to power your city. Or you can go nuclear. Let's talk water and sanitation. Surface water sources are the same as in city skylines. Expect flowing rivers, glittering lakes, and vast, swirling oceans.
Whoa, those
Groundwater
islands.
is different. These underground reservoirs replenish over time, so they can run dry if they're drained at a faster rate than they're refilled. They're also susceptible to ground pollution. When they're contaminated, dirty water is pumped into your city's freshwater system. That's bad on every level.
It is.
Mainly because decontamination takes a long time. Build a groundwater pumping station to tap this resource, and a water pumping station to bring surface water into your city's water system. You can also add water to the system with wastewater treatment plants. These plants can process sewage to produce clean water for homes and businesses. There's another way to manage sewage: sewage outlets. They release waste into open water, which can help prevent sewage from backing up. And that's a must when it comes to public health. Bungling waste management can make people seriously ill. That's why you want to keep sewage outlets well away from pumping stations. How can you balance the very human needs of citizens with your ambition as a city builder? It's simple. Imagine living your life down there, day in and day out.
All right. That water was disgusting. I'm just gonna say that. We have one more video, and then you've got to wait until part 2, which will be coming next week. So yeah, let's watch it.
It's easy to forget how much our day-to-day is shaped by where we live. But how our world looks, feels, and changes sets the scene for our lived experience. It's the same for the people in your city. And in City Skylines II, the world is a whole lot bigger. You can now build on an area 5 times bigger than before.
Whoa.
Equivalent to 159 square kilometers. That's bigger than some countries. Maps are composed of
Obviously
individual
Vatican.
tiles. Connect them to create a sweeping urban jungle, or don't connect them to develop interesting little pockets of life. You can unlock 441 tiles on each map, but you'll have 9 to work with when you begin your city building. Reach milestones to unlock more. When you do, choose tiles that best serve your expansion plans. Before you click, preview the total buildable area, what natural resources are available, and the cost of that tile. The expanded map inspires you to think big, but remember to think up. Height limits have increased too, freeing you to carve a city higher in the sky than ever before.
Whoa.
Building on this scale also invites you to think outside of the box, literally. Create connections to cities beyond the edge of your map to open up trade routes that can accelerate your city's growth. Before you select a map, look at where it sits on the globe. Is it north or south of the equator? And which hemisphere is it in? Check out how much of the map can be built on, which natural resources it has, and what, if any, connections already exist to neighboring cities. Found a map you like? Click and give your city a name. This is also your chance to change the default theme if you want to. There are 2 themes, European and North American. Themes shape the look and feel of your city, from street markings to cop cars. The biggest difference is the architectural style of residential and commercial buildings. You can add buildings from the other theme when zoning your city. This lets you pepper European buildings in your North American city, and vice versa. Still, the theme you choose dominates the appearance of your city, and it can't be changed later. There are 10 maps in the base game, each drawing inspiration from real-world locations. You might even recognize them. And with the vast area available on the new expanded maps, terrains are more varied, resources are more accessible, and there are more ways to connect to other cities. You'll discover maps where life is lived on the sandy beaches of a sprawling archipelago. Maps that invite you to build at high altitudes with a mountainside
What
map,
are on those
or
mountains?
along the winding waters of a
Whoa.
rich river delta. There might even be a map that looks like the world outside your window. Select the map that stirs your imagination to set the stage for life and living in the city of your dreams.
Well, that's where we're gonna leave it this video. Please, City Skylines, if you're watching this, give it me early, please. I would love it early. Anyway, thank you for watching. Next week I'll do a part 2 and watch the other 6 videos. Bye.